Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Siren Craft Brew, and this is a can of the Cacao and Hazelnut Broken Dream Twisted Breakfast Stout, coming in at 5.8% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Look at the can wrap. Really enjoy it. The beer was available in ASDA. It was £3 for the can, which I think is a jolly good price for a beer at 5.8% ABV. The only thing, before I open the can, is I kind of wish and maybe ask for from the beer, is that it's a good, big, thick, well-bodied stout. If you give that to me to begin with, then it's solid foundation. I like a mouthfeel. I like a thick, creamy mouthfeel with a stout. And then we can kind of build from there. We can build and look at the cacao and the hazelnut and whatever else is in your twisted breakfast. Whatever twisted breakfast tastes like. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. A couple of little bubbles there. Beer in the glass. Is there a glug? Yeah, it's looking okay. It's definitely looking okay. I'm rolling the can round to see if it's a can conditioned beer, if there's any sediment going on in the bottom of the can. That for me represents flavour, so I want to get all of that flavour, all of that kind of goodness from the bottom of the can into my beer. We got a 1 to 2 finger tan coloured head. It's a jet black beer in the glass. Slow moving carbonation making its way up the glass there. Let's get the aroma. Wow! Whoa! Whoa! That's burnt. Not in like my toast has just been put on the table and I've gone, that's burnt. I'm not accusing it of being burnt, as in burnt, but there's a certain kind of roasty, toasty. Wow! It actually smells like burnt toast. I think that's the reason why I kind of mentioned toast. It smells like black steaming toast that has just popped up from the toaster and you've gone, ah, no, I need more bread. It really does. It's quite strong with the cacao. It's quite strong with that kind of cacao nib chocolate. It's also quite strong with the roasted malt. It's given a real strong sense of like grabbing an OXO cube and just peeling the foil off an OXO cube and sprinkling it into your beer. It's got a real gravy aroma to it at the same time. It's not often on the channel that you'll see me taking so much time deliberating, working out an aroma of a beer without even tasting it. Cool, blimey, it's almost astringent. It's almost kind of like, I'm talking about kind of popping OXO cubes in your beer and burnt toast and bitter roast malts and kind of big strong cacao nib flavours. Gravy. Let's dive in. Cheers everybody. I'm a little bit apprehensive, I really am. It's really quite odd. It's odd because there's parts of the beer that I'm not quite fond of, but then there's parts of the beer that I'm very fond of. I'm very fond of the longing kind of roastiness from the roasted malt. It just lingers and lingers and lingers. But before all of that kind of happens, you definitely get a bit of OXO cube in there, a bit of beef OXO. It's like espresso coffee as well. There's like a big shot of espresso coffee hitting you round the chops at the same time. It's not as big and bold in terms of mouthfeel. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not big and bold and fat enough for me. It's not kind of like really rich and creamy to carry those strong coffee and OXO gravy flavours that are smashing you around the chops. But then again, that longing that I'm tasting now, that longing roasted malt flavour in the beer, is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's an interesting beer, it really is. Parts I like, parts I don't like. I don't like how thin it is. It's way too thin. The trouble is, you're being asked to pay £3 for a can of beer, for the Siren Craft Brew. It is 5.8% ABV. But there's almost a sense of budget here. There's a sense that Siren have had to cut back to get it at £3 a can, which I find very surprising. And I find it very surprising because I bought the odd bottle of Stout before now from a supermarket. Gower Brewery in Wales, they produce a Stout for Morrison's, and it's part of the 4 for £6, 4 bottles, £6, makes it £1.50 a bottle. I think it's called Gower Black Gold. Gower Brewery Black Gold. And that has got the most rich, decadent, amazing kind of like creaminess, richness, oatiness to it. And part of that deal is £1.50. £1.50. And it's a 500ml bottle. So you're getting more liquid for your money. 60 milligrams of liquid for your money, to be exact. More mouthfeel, more of a rounded stout for half the price. For half the price. I just feel that for whatever reason, Siren have had to chop things away. They've had to kind of taken things away from this beer, which just to be able to get them onto that £3 a can price mark, on landing on the supermarket shelf. Whatever profit ASDA takes, whatever profit Siren takes, is completely none of my business. But to get it to land on a supermarket shelf for £3 a can, it seems like they've had to they've had to sacrifice certain ingredients to get it onto that price point. The more I drink it, the more I wish I had a bottle of that Gower Black Gold, a lovely, good mouthfeel, rounded stout at £1.50 a bottle. Because this is tasting now a little bit too astringent. The OXO cube flavour that I referred to earlier on, I described to you earlier on, is it's getting a bit much. It's all getting a bit much. It's all getting a bit messy. It's too astringent. There's no mouthfeel. It's very watery. It's surprising because normally Siren Craft Brew, you can rely on them to produce really good beer. This isn't really kind of up to it. It's not really doing it for me. Let's see what they say on the back of the can. An indulgence of chocolate and specialty malts. Broken Dream is smooth, unctuous, whatever that means, and Moorish. You expect better, don't you, from Siren Craft Brew? It's funny because I was speaking to a brewer the other day who tuned into one of their live streams, and they had a couple of people on their live stream and they were matching really expensive cheeses apparently. I didn't watch it, somebody else did. They were just telling me about it. Really expensive cheeses with Siren Craft Brew beers, and they were kind of talking kind of all of these weird and wonderful fancy craft beer terms, which is great. Which is great. Why shouldn't we be matching beer and cheese? That's a great thing. I've been saying it for a long time. Beer and cheese matches better than wine and cheese. But for them to be, you know, all very well spoken and using all the right words, using all the right phrases in their live stream on YouTube, and then you read the back of this can, which is available in little old ASDA, they use the word Moorish, and it's like, okay, this has definitely been produced for ASDA and maybe the ASDA clientele, which is a shame. Again, it's a shame. It's brewed with milk, sugar for balance and mouthfeel, along with carefully selected espresso as a special one-off. We've taken it a step further here, spinning the beer on cacao nibs and hazelnut for a delicious praline twist. Nah, didn't do it for me. Siren Craft Brew, cacao and hazelnut, Broken Dream, didn't do it for me. I like the little bit of roasted finish on the back end. I'm not liking the OXO cube up front. It's very astringent, it's very bitter, it's very thin. It's way too thin. There's no body. They're trying to call it a milk stout. They're trying to say it's kind of creamy and rich, but it's far from it. I'm not a fan, really. I'm not a fan. I won't be buying that again for £3 a can. It's a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.